Hey everyone, it's Jamie from Independent Street Tarot and Seasons and Ritual, and I'm here to welcome you to Sagittarius season. The beautiful thing about Sagittarius season is that it is ruled by Jupiter, also known as Zeus. And Jupiter is that planet of gifts, luck, money, expansion. But most importantly, it is the planet of faith. And I think it's really beautiful that right now we see things that we've been praying about for peace starting to come into focus, right? And we're having that faith that things can change, right? So just keep that, put a pin in that, as they say. So let's talk a little bit about Sagittarius season. Again, ruled by Jupiter. Again, it is, I didn't say this, but it is mutable fire. And I think it's this beautiful idea that we come out of the depths and wateriness of Scorpio season, and then we get to come up onto land and warm ourselves by this beautiful, beautiful mutable fire. And the beautiful thing about mutable energies is that they move us from one season to the next. So right now we are in the middle of fall, and we are preparing ourselves more for the winter. So we've come up from Scorpio season. We've been rebirthed, we've been baptized, we went down, we saw all the things that we needed to have courage in ourselves to let go. We saw the things that we found ourselves that we had courage to move through. And we saw all the things that we had courage to transmute and transform, and the things that we can't take with us into winter. Winter is a time of essential. What is essential? What is it that we need? We can't bring extras, right? And so we're cutting away all the stuff that no longer resonates in our life, correct? And so we went through this intense time of fixed water. That water was going to hold us. That water was going to make us feel what we needed to feel in order to get rid of what we didn't need, and then to bring in what we did. And now we come up for air and we crawl onto the ground, and now we get to go warm ourselves by this beautiful, beautiful fire. And this fire is always the right temperature. It's very high if we need to burn things away. It's really low when we need to cool off, okay? So keep that in mind when going into Sagittarius season. The sun has just moved into Sagittarius, and so as the sun, it's in that first degree of Sagittarius, and that is the welcoming, the exhilaration, the hello, we're here. And then as the sun moves through, it starts to gain mastery with the energy of Sagittarius. So right now, it's a great time to be jovial. It's a great time to be happy. It's a great time to celebrate. We made it through Scorpio season. I know I'm always happier on the other side of Scorpio season, and I love all my little Scorpios, right? But it is this beautiful idea. If you come up, the last archetype of Scorpio season is that Phoenix, right? And so if you have come up and you are this Phoenix and fire, and then you get to fly over to more fire. So I really love this idea. Let's talk a little bit about Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the centaur. Sagittarius is known as the adventurer, but it's known as the adventurer, the student, and the philosopher. And the idea is that it's all these things in one. Now that we have hopefully let go a lot of old things, old ideas, old stories, we might be a little uncomfortable. And the idea of Sagittarius is that he takes these new ways of thinking and being, and he forms a hypothesis, and then he goes on this adventure to see what he learns. Sagittarius in its highest self is really live and let live. He takes what he knows he can keep and use for his own self, and he lets communities live the way they live that's best for them. Because again, it is this idea of going and seeing what works the best, what works for others. When he is in his lowest vibration, he's very judgy. It's very judgy. Big Frank, my pop, he is a Sagittarius. He goes in between high Sag, low Sag, and he's Italian, so either way, he's funny. Either way, but it is interesting to see that and see these traits in him. Sagittarius is also very they like community. They can be very jovial. They can be very optimistic, right? And so again, this planet of expansion, which is Jupiter. So it's very important for Sagittarius and all Sagittarians, but especially during Sagittarius season, not to overcommit. a lot of times we'll be like, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. And then we're like, I hate humanity because like, how are you going to show up? And you're like, why did I do all this? So be very present, stay in the moment, and really see, can I really show up for this? And if the answer is no, then just say no. Okay. Everyone's going to be happier than having you stressed out Sag or just a stressed out person during Sagittarius season. And the way it does fall, right? We're moving more into the holidays where there's just could be more going on, right? In a couple of days, it is going to be a holiday here, Thanksgiving. Some celebrate, some do not. But it is this idea usually of coming together with friends and family. So make sure when you're sitting there, you don't commit to everything that's being thrown out on the table. Okay, so right now I'm going to pull 3 cards. What's really beautiful is I was kind of shuffling before I came on, and I don't know if you guys can see that. On the bottom is the sun, right? And so as we go towards the darkness, right? It's important to realize where our sun is. The sun is in Sagittarius season, but our sun is our solar plexus, and it's time to start having more confidence in who we are right now, especially going through Scorpio season and like getting rid of all the things we don't need anymore and getting rid of all the old stories. But it is that transmutation in that transformation of this rebirth, right? We've come back up. And so really, really trust who you are now. And if it feels a little bit uncomfortable, that's the whole point of Sagittarius season. Sagittarius goes on these adventures to work with these hypotheses. He is uncomfortable. The centaur is uncomfortable. She is uncomfortable, but she puts herself out there because it is about this journey. It is about the philosopher. It is about being the student, right? And it's all mixed into one. Okay, so we're going to keep the sun card and we're just going to pull 2 more cards. All right. Okay. The Lovers. Hell yeah. In the Son of Swords, which is really beautiful. Can you guys see that? That's the page. Okay, so we pulled the sun. We're going to keep the sun. I put it back on the deck. The sun is telling us to have confidence. The Lovers is here, right? I always read the Lovers as the destiny card. What is your destiny? Your destiny is to show up as your true self. Your destiny is to show up as your own best lover. Your destiny is to show up as your masculine and feminine working as one. And here it is. This is saying this is the time. We went through all that stuff in Scorpio season. It's time for us to start showing up as our authentic selves. Right? In this Page of Swords, owl, isn't it beautiful? And the geese, right? Just in time, flying south for winter. The Son of Swords comes in is that Page of Swords, and it is this new way of communicating. It is this new way of speaking. This is also really good because it's an air sign. And we're moving towards this full moon in Gemini, and Gemini is air, and Gemini is communication. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So these are 3 great cards, right, for coming into Sagittarius season. Start to have confidence in who you are. Start to have confidence that every day you're showing up a little bit more as your authentic self, and every day you're able to communicate that easier, right? And you're able to interpret, this is about communication, but also interpret the way that you want to show up, the way you want to communicate. And this is also really fortuitous about talking about things from the past in a different light, or seeing things in the past from a different light, in order for you to show up with more confidence, and in order for you to show up as your best self, right? I'm so happy this Lovers card comes on, because there is so much love hitting the planet right now, and I sometimes think we forget that. So if we can see this, right, have confidence in that with that sun, and then also work on this idea of communicating that differently, not only with ourselves, within ourselves, but with others as well. Okay, friends, welcome to Sagittarius season. I will do a meditation like I did with Scorpio, but with Sagittarius, and I hope to get that one out a little earlier, since I have a little bit more confidence than I did with the first one. So let's just how things work. I hope everyone has a very safe and happy holiday. Again, if you'd like to work with me, please reach out to me via Instagram, YouTube, or my websites. And until then, I will see you soon.